The Las Vegas Raiders' exciting Thanksgiving Day overtime victory over the Dallas Cowboys featured a slew of penalties. No, seriously, a lot of flags were thrown. Over the course of the 65-plus minutes of play, the sides committed a total of 28 accepted penalties for a total of 276 yards. The Raiders were called for 14 penalties for 110 yards, while the Cowboys were called for 14 penalties for 166 yards. Anthony Brown, a Cowboys cornerback, was responsible for more than over half of his team's penalty yards. The 6-year veteran was flagged for defensive pass interference 4 times for 91 yards, all on third downs during the Raiders' touchdown drives. Brown's fourth and final DPI proved to be the most costly of the game. The corner got tangled up with wideout Zay Jones for a 33-yard penalty, with Las Vegas facing a 3rd and 18 in overtime. Rather than having to punt, the Raiders were given new downs just outside the red zone, setting up Daniel Carlson's game-winning 29-yard field goal. The Raider-Cowboy game had the most penalties and penalty yards in a game this season, but it fell short of breaking the all-time record in either category. What is the NFL record for the most total penalties in a single game? For the past 7 years, the all-time record for most combined penalties in a game has held. The Chicago Bears and Cleveland Browns were penalized 37 times for 374 yards in 1951. The Browns were responsible for the majority of the penalties, 21 of them, and the penalty yards, 209, but still won by a score of 42-21. The 05 Seattle Seahawks and 05 Tampa Bay Buccaneers combined for the most second penalties, 35 for 310 yards in 1976. The Buccaneers were penalized 20 times and lost 13-10 after their potential game-tying field goal was blocked, a play they committed a penalty on, of course. The Raiders and Cowboys committed 28 penalties on Thanksgiving, the most since the Oakland Raiders and Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 29 in 2016. What is the NFL record for the most penalty yards in a single game? With 374 combined penalty yards, the 1951 Bears-Browns game holds the record for most combined penalty yards in a game. The 1976 Seahawks-Bucks game is tied for second with a 2009 Monday Night Football game between the Baltimore Ravens and Green Bay Packers. Green Bay had 11 penalties for 175 yards, while Baltimore had 12 penalties for 135 yards, for a total of 310 penalty yards. Despite this, Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers won 27-14, with 350 yards of total offense. The 276 yards in the Raiders-Cowboys games are the most since the Buffalo Bills and Chicago Bears combined for 292 yards in 2018. What is the NFL record for the most penalties committed by a team in a single game? The Raiders do hold the mark for the most penalties by a team in a single game, but they did not establish it on Thursday. Against the Buccaneers in 2016, the Raiders committed 23 penalties for 200 yards. The Raiders defeated the Buccaneers, who had only 6 penalties for 64 yards, winning 30-24 in overtime on a Seth Roberts 41-yard touchdown throw from Derek Carr. The 1998 San Francisco 49ers, the 1944 Brooklyn Tigers, and the 1944 Bears all had 22 penalties in a game. What is the NFL record for the most penalty yards accumulated by a team in a single game? Despite only committing 50 penalties against the Ravens in 2005, the Tennessee Titans set an NFL record with 212 penalty yards. Tennessee was able to overcome its dreadful record with a win of 14-11. According to StatMuse, data dating back to 1950, the only other team that has tallied at least 200 penalty yards in a game are the aforementioned 1951 Browns, 21 penalties for 209 yards, and the 16 Raiders, 23 penalties for 200 yards. Well guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to Sports Inc., and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.